11 GTP entries, 10 in the LMP2. Those are the two prototype categories. And then into GT-based categories, GTD Pro and GTD. Man, look at the field there. 35 GT cars.
And those are identical specification between GTD Pro and GTD. So 35 guys, think about what an Indy 500 is. It's 33 cars here. NASCAR 38 cars. 56 cars in total on just 2.4 miles. This will be wild.
Yeah, and you can see them there in the Michelin starting grid to the left of the screen. 4 different classes, 56 cars, 6 hours. And let me point this out too. Guys, on the lens of the camera, I'm seeing raindrops. For next year as well, we are racing in Indianapolis.
Great jump there by our pole sitter, the bright yellow-nosed Cadillac. Look at the number 6 car, that's Jaminet. He's in the championship picture. Elects to bail out of it and let Delatraz have the line as they head down into that funneling effect into turn 1.
It is split start here. Prototypes first, then the GTD cars. But Jack Aitken really aggressive aboard the 31 Cadillac in the prototype field. Look at this.
See the windshield wipers going for that GTD field. They're 4 wide, almost 5 wide into turn 1.
The advantage that the GTD machines have is ABS brakes. The prototypes, as you look at those battling out on the left side of the screen, no ABS to help you out if you get into a problem into those brake zones.
Let's see what happens to Delatraz, top of the screen. He gets turned.
Well, I think he was maybe carving across on that GTD car, so 50-50 there.
Yeah.
Was that Sheena Monk in the
I think that's the
Acura?
55.
Ferrari?
I think that's Rasmus Lind, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. He thinks he's cleared him.
Yeah, that's the Dragon Speed entry.
Oh,
Ferrari
yeah,
to the inside.
56 Ferrari there. Watch this. It's going to be a really late, optimistic move from the Lamborghini, and you see the contact.
Yeah, you see Dirk swung out to the left to set up for that turn 10 there. And it just looks so inviting, and then suddenly the gap just disappears with that driver then getting back on the normal line.
We saw an incident earlier this race between the 65 and the number 19. We're here with Dirk Mueller, one of the drivers involved in that incident. What happened?
Well, first of all, I mean, staying here and talking to you is definitely not, which excites me. It just means, yeah, I mean, you see it, I went over to talk to him. He's German. Seems like he's a young kid. He immediately apologized. I don't know. I don't even know what he was meant to do there. Like in the opening laps, he was losing the train, so he hasn't had the speed. Yeah, it hurts. It really hurts. That early in the race, there was nothing I could have done. I told him, dude, even if you try to get inside, stay close to me because I can't see what you're doing. And this is not a passing area. Probably not even in the last corner. I've never seen a GT pass there. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's a very big damage to our Ford Mustang, and yeah, the team is working hard to get us back out with a lot of laps down, and we just take the race as a practice.
I was just going to ask, the team is working hard, so it seems like there might be a chance that you can get back out there. What is the extent of the damage?
It's all suspension, like front and rear suspension, as it was a super hard hit. I mean, he would have just gone straight. It's not even a braking corner, so we just basically lift. Very frustrating.
You went down there and talked to him. What did that conversation look like?
Well, he was still sitting in a car, and I could tell from his eyes that he's very sorry. His teammate Luca Engstler is also German. He came over and yeah, apologized. I mean, I think he's well more experienced, and everybody knows that in hour 1, after 20 minutes of the start, seeing you not as fast as the train in front of you, trying a dive bomb. He said, well, apologies, I just tried to do a dive bomb. Well, I mean, there's not much to say.
Look at Nazar once again. That's the third car in line. That bright white red. He goes around the outside of Delatraz. This is the championship leader putting it all on the line. With still 16 hours to go in this championship season.
Nazar looked like he was in a different class. Just drove around the outside of the Acura and Townsend, right now under these conditions, you know it from your IndyCar experience, downforce is a good thing. It's going to help you a little bit in these slick conditions, but eventually it won't be able to overcome the moisture. How do you know how hard to push?
Well, on board with Philip Eng here in the number 24 Team RLL BMW GTP car, where you have to be really careful right now as a driver. As the rain starts to fall, you're on slick tires. Watch the curves and the paint. That's what will bite you right now.
Down the front straightaway, Porsche to the inside of the 0-1, slides to the inside. Nazar on an absolute charge. He has gone from 7th on the grid to the lead.
Let's take a look at that. So we saw Goldberg off a little bit later in the lap, but I think they might have been bumping there coming through that first sector. There's Goldberg around the outside. So there's a little bump there. This is the 22 car that just spun a little bit further around the lap. And Compank comes in there and just misjudges it. He rushes up on him, gets into the tail of the 22, so that was all by his lonesome. 22 had nothing to do with that.
Might have been a little bit frustrated with getting that bump earlier and then try to make it up in the brake zone. And around he went, and the killer is that right side getting stuck. And I think Goldberg here has a little bit of contact with Sheena Monk to her right rear.
That's like the 19 and 65, not as impactful, but
same situation, same corner.
Literally and figuratively not as impactful. But I think Compank had to get on the brakes. The GTD traffic kind of stacked him up a little bit. It surprised him, got on the brakes. He went around. Dan Goldberg dodged that bullet, but then it's so inviting there in turn 10, isn't it?
You've got to be disciplined, Brian. I mean, the yellow's out, obviously, with the 88 car stuck, but, you know, you've got to be disciplined through those sectors. It looks inviting. It's like, oh, I can make this move, but you can't be a bull in a china shop. Otherwise, those are going to be the consequences, typically 50% of the time.
Full course caution flies at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We saw that just as we went to break. The crowd reaching for umbrellas now.
Look out.
Yep.
This is going to be crazy. Gonna be crazy because they finished before yellow in the dry, and now the rain comes out. I wonder if these drivers are electing to try to put rain tires on.
Field kind of strung out as they come onto the front straightaway. We are back to green at Indy, and now Felipe Nasr, he's the guinea pig down to turn 1, first time in the wet.
Yeah, Bourdais looked like a huge run there through 14. Now slices to the inside on Nasr to try and wrestle the lead away from him.
What happened to the 66? Hannah.
Sheena Monk talking to her team right now and saying she keeps trying to power cycle that Acura, and unfortunately it's not power cycling. So she's getting communication from the team. They're getting the data that they still have battery, they're still getting electricity reads, but unfortunately it's not translating into the race car, so they're going to need assistance from the safety teams to get that Acura back here to pit lane to evaluate the situation.
Well, disappointing for them for sure. They have been improving throughout the season. Stephen McAleer co-driving with Sheena Monk this year. They've had some pretty good results.
They have. They had that podium at Road America. Also, that team made a big announcement. They're going to switch to that Ford Mustang for 2025 as well.
All right, so full course caution, a chance to take a breath and evaluate the conditions.
Jeff Burton in a pace car. Let's find out. Bourdais.
Oh boy.
In the throttle, that Cadillac V8 coming to life down the front straightaway back to green, and you cannot see a thing.
No, this is deluge out there right now. 14 cars we expected is going to hit pit lane. Look at Nasr, he's out of control.
That was a smart move. That was a really smart move from Nasr. He swerved to avoid the apex curb and knew he was in trouble early. The 57 Windward Mercedes, and up ahead you'll see Frankie Montecavo go right up
there
into the wall.
Oh, yeah. Actually, he didn't just pancake it, hit it, spun around 360 degrees, and then down the wall.
But the way he was sliding looked like a car in the snow or the ice.
Black ice.
Catching up with Louis Delatraz. First, let's go back to the little argy-bargy incident that you experienced on the opening laps of the race. What happened there?
I mean, yeah, I was very surprised. I was just following the pack. It's 6 hours to, we have to just survive, especially when we knew the rain was gonna come. And I think the GT driver, I'm not sure who it was, but did a little mistake in turn 12 and outbrake himself turn 30 and just collected me. So I didn't see the image. I don't know if I could have done something better. I will look at it. But for sure, it's a shame because we lost some positions. The car is fine, everything's good, and I mean, we're gonna come back forward. So let's see what happens now. It's gonna be exciting.
The rain has certainly thrown a wrench in the normal game plan for here. what are some areas on the track that you're going to remind yourself when you go back in the car that could be a trouble zone for the 40?
I think the rain definitely hit harder at the restart, at the last restart, and like everyone was surprised midway through the straight line. We all had aquaplaning. We were not flat out, and I mean, I almost crashed the BMW because he aquaplaned in front of me. So it was quite sketchy out there, and for sure, right now it's not possible to go green. There's too much water. So hopefully it calms down a little bit, and yeah, we can race again.
So when you're talking about the cockpit and the tools that you have at your disposal, much like your personal car at home, when you get a situation like this where it's raining, but yet you've got a lot of humidity, working the defroster and those type of things on the personal car, do you have any issues like that in the race car?
We often have fog into the race car, so we have a heated windscreen, which is very helpful. As soon as it rains, we have to switch it on. We have a wiper as well, we need it. And yeah, the rain light at the back on the rear wing that flashes to make sure the guys behind us see, and especially when there's so much spray, you need it. So yeah, I think it's great. We have a lot of tools, but in the end, when there's as much water as this, there's lack of planning, and we just need to be a bit patient because we want real racing and not just a destruction derby.
All right, thank you, Louis.
Thank you.
Well, when the rain hit and then the different levels of precipitation, a lot of teams were looking at calling audibles, and that was a situation that took place with Action Express. What took place, Jack, on the pit stop?
We just had a little snafu, bit of miscommunication, and when we were changing over to the wet tyres, didn't get the left rear on, and you know, stuff happens so quick in the stop that we sent the car. Unfortunately, obviously have to come back in and correct that mistake, but you know, it's very early in the race, so it's not too big a deal.
So Pippo's in the car now. Tom will go in next. You're going to work through your driver rotation. A lot of laps under caution here, so you guys are just trying to check that box as early as you can.
Yeah, because with the way the weather is today, there's no guarantee that we're really going to have a clean race to the end, and we need to get our drive time in to just tick that box on the legality side. So like you said, we're going to run through Pippo and Tom, and we'll go from there, really. You don't really want to be changing drivers in these changing conditions because it makes it that much harder to get up to speed. But yeah, we'll do what we can.
We talk a lot during pit stops about VP racing fuel for the car, but the fuel for you, especially in a situation like today, nutrition and hydration so important. What do you work on a race day through your food checklist? Because I saw you're snacking on a little bit of chicken back there.
I'm always snacking, yeah. Especially these Michelin Endurance Cup races, which are a bit longer. We need to make sure that we're staying fueled, like you say. So I'll hop out of the car and straight away I'm just trying to get some carbohydrate back in, fuel, water as well, hydration, and you know, anything that's easy to go down. So I just got some pasta and chowing down.
Chowing down.
Well, speaking of excelling, this is accelerating onto the front straightaway. Sebastian Bourdais looking for the green, and this has been a long full course yellow, Calvin. You've got to go out and rediscover.
You really do. And a lot of these drivers started this race, so long stints right now. They've got to get refocused. That was a very lengthy yellow flag period there. We see the 63 car, Romain Grosjean, going down at the inside of that BMW. Trying to go side by side as they accelerate off of their squirming and trying to find grip. That can get dicey now around the outside.
Still side by side, both of these drivers means both of these programs have something to prove. What a wiggle.
From running to stopping in a hurry.
I mean, it just shut down.
Yeah, that seemed like a full ignition cut of some sort.
And when it shut down, he immediately went to the brakes and stopped it almost as soon as he possibly could. I don't know if he was worried about overshooting the corner, knew that the entry to pit lane was right there. He's gotten it refired, obviously, on the way to his pit box. But
let's see what they go to work on. Probably going to pull off the engine cover.
As you said, Townsend, water and electricity don't mix, and that left side pod, I've got to believe, is where the ECU most likely is, and some of the other electronic controls are.
They're looking up, I think, near the fuel supply lines. Maybe that's a fuel pressure thing that they saw as the battle for the lead. Look at Romain Grosjean, not happy with potentially just Lamborghini's first podium. This guy wants to win. Oh!
Did they make contact?
Yes,
I think they did.
I don't think that'll be a penalty, though, because he didn't turn Jaminet. The bump and run is on, though.
I'm looking at my radar right now, and it looks like a lot of the rain is gone. You can see that large clearing patch moving, and it's almost upon us, so we may be okay, and it'll be interesting to see if the rest of the weather dies there behind it. It looks like it is dissipating.
So the gamble now is, if you're not at the front in any class, be the first to go to slicks. That's usually the winning move. Now, it's not like there's 30 minutes left. There's 3.5 hours left. But if you feel like you're not going to do it straight up today, or somehow you've been unlucky with a drive-through or another situation, look at this right now. That is the 77 AO Porsche trying to find wet racetrack to keep his wet tires cooled down. So Christensen leading in GTD Pro right now, and I think that's a signal. I think guys should start to come to pit lane and throw slicks on and take a gamble, especially with the radar we just showed.
You dodged the one issue with the contact on the racetrack, but then during the pit stop an issue, and he doesn't serve it this time, but Grosjean will have to do a drive-through penalty. That will elevate Connor De Felipe to the lead.
Still not, oh, incident here. That's the 40, that's the 023, the Triazzi Ferrari.
Two Ferraris involved there. Triazzi off in the sand.
He's not going anywhere. So we'll bring out the caution immediately.
Onofrio Triazzi himself behind the wheel of that Ferrari, and there you can see it spinning the tires, and there it is. Another full course caution on the day.
Just no way with the low ride height that you have on these race cars. They just get beached. See how this one develops. 56 machine here. Tony Vilander, the Finn, he gets bumped, and that gets him into the sewers. Three Ferraris involved. That is crazy.
Yeah, his teammate Connor De Felipe, he is out of the car. We were just talking about conditions a little bit. You did most of your stint in the pouring rain. How on your toes did you have to be during that whole duration of your stint?
Yeah, certainly when the rain came down, it was very, very slippery out there. A lot of standing water, which this rain tire we have is very durable and good for the kind of the mixed conditions. With that conditions was quite tricky, and the speedway part doesn't drain so well. So thankfully they were quite intelligent and smart with their decision making, which made it easier for us and gave us a safe racing environment. Obviously, once we got racing again, it seemed like we had good rain pace. I was excited to be out there and driving in the rain with this car. That was my first time really having that opportunity. So we seemed to have good pace. We kind of worked our way towards the front, and now we'll see how we look in the dry. On that last pit stop, the team decided to go to slick tires as the track is drying out, but it's kind of in this middle ground right now. How is the car going to handle? How difficult is it going to be for your teammate to just assess this as it keeps changing? Yes, these are the most difficult conditions with the hard tire. It's built for the heat. Obviously, with damp track conditions and a little bit cooler today, it makes it definitely trickier. Thankfully, it's not myself in the car, but I have the best in the business supporting me, and I know he's going to do a fantastic job. So obviously, we cycled back a little bit after that pit stop cycle. We got a little unlucky with when we came in. It was a closed pit, so we had to drive straight through, so we lost some track position, but he's the right man to drive us back to the front. Will you do another stint today? I think so, yeah. It depends on how all these yellows work out. The plan was double, so if it works out, great. If not, if it starts changing conditions, then I wouldn't be surprised if they leave him in, because throwing a new driver into that mix is always difficult. And yeah, I know he'll do a great job at the end. The theme of the day, these ever-changing conditions, guys. Thank you, Connor.
Let's take a look at who leads in class. From the restart just moments ago, Renger van de Zande leads in GTP, Hunter McElrea leads in LMP2, Michael Christensen for AO Racing in GTD Pro, and Elliott Skier right now for Porsche in the Wright Motorsports 120.
Looks like about half the field made it to pit lane before the caution, but let's take a look back at what led to the 80 getting to the gravel trap. On board the 65 here, this car's had drama earlier today and just flat into the back. The Mustang, that's Joey Hand
Yeah, I think
the
he
bump
was
and
expecting
run.
Rui to get on the power, and he wasn't going anywhere.
Bump and run turned to a bump and beach.
Yeah.
So the 5th full course caution has just been displayed for the field. Drivers lining up for the start. You saw the lights were off on the pace car. The field is in the hands of Felipe Albuquerque right here. He's going to stand on the gas. Calvin, he takes the Acura back across the yard of bricks.
Yeah, first two cars are on a different strategy. You got about half a fuel load of energy on board, and that has really hurt the 85 car that runs third in line, but now a lap down. He's trapped behind those two cars, but the 01 car immediately to the inside of Phil Hansen. That is for P3 and puts Hansen a full lap down there.
The 01 side by side with the 25 Ioli. Ioli locks up and now falls into the clutches of Nick Tandy.
Yeah, and this is really a battle who will become the lead when the 10 and the 5 car have to pit ahead of these cars. So this is going to become the lead. The real question mark is, does anyone have to make an extra pit stop? Chip Ganassi alluded to it in terms of their strategy, but I think the 10 and the 5 may feel they can make the same amount of stops. Admittedly, they got more energy replenishment, so they'll lose more time on pit lane. So they're just trying to gap these cars right now.
I think everybody in GTP, Cal, in the lead lap has to make 2 more stops. But to your point, the cars, the 10 and the 5, will have to make longer stops to get to the end. So that could be the difference as it gets crazy now.
Threading the needle, Van der Zande down the front straight. Now looking to there's Yellowly. He's going to make the pass back. Can he do it going into turn 1? They've made contact.
He puts a big squeeze on Van der Zande. He's not going to like that. The driver of the 01 is not afraid to go wheel to wheel, shoulder to shoulder, and push past.
Tandy to the inside, trying to get around 2 Brits side by side, and Tandy takes that position away from Yellowly. The helmet straightaway. Look at the move by Nick Tandy. Jinks back across to the inside in the damp patch. He just holds station there and puts it down and grabs the lead. Yeah, just argy-bargy there through that tight section. Calderelli on board the 63 car gets into Ben Barker, who's driving that number 55 Proton Mustang. And you can see immediate suspension damage. That was a pretty hefty whack there, Townsend.
It broke the left rear toe link and then cut the tire down.
And this is after the car led earlier today. This is a brand new, not brand new, but newest to the GTP ranks here in IMSA. And every time they come out, they get a little bit better.
Figure out what happened here.
He knows it right there.
Yeah, it's already cut and going down. And at this point now, he just takes the overshoot. Going to pick up the oval banking. Yeah, it's already cut at that point. Cross-weighting the car and no way to get slowed up. I don't see any evidence of contact, guys, to the bodywork on the right rear, so perhaps just some debris. You also never know. Sometimes if you curb hop out of the pits on low pressures, you can compromise the sidewall, but look at the damage now to the bodywork by virtue of probably 3.5 to 4 miles with a cut tire.
Yep, 6th full course caution while we were away. It was for this 7 car. Stopped on track, and Matt Yoakum, I know you were monitoring what was going on with Felipe Nasr. What is it?
Dave, unbelievable. Their championship chances possibly may take a hit right here on the front stretch. Now, Felipe Nasr had an issue with the power steering. Tim Cindric, president of Team Penske, but also the race strategist, told him, let's stop, try to recycle the system and see if that solves the problem. That's what he did. It didn't. They've had a near Penske perfect season. Their average finish was 2.4 coming in. All podiums except for 1. Wow, we are seeing everybody taking hits in the championship fight, and we still have an hour and 10 minutes to go.
Battle for the lead in GTD Pro. They stack up Mustang, Lexus, Porsche. You can see Barnicoat in the Lexus do everything he can to try to close the gap for a precious, maybe 1/10 of a second advantage. There goes the Mustang. Where's the Lexus? It's close.
There's the Porsche.
77 to the front. That's from 3rd to 1st on the stop. Gonna get a big gap here on this restart. Connor De Filippi stacked up behind the number 5 Porsche that's a lap down of Jimmy Bruni. Man, that's That's a sloppy start in terms of stack up, Cal.
Yeah, it was difficult there. Connor DeFilippi had to wait for the green before he made that move on the 5 machine. So that's given a little bit of breathing room for Louis Delatraz.
Let's take a look at the pass again here, Dave.
Pass for the lead as Delatraz gets taken right here by Yang.
Yeah, that was down in turn 13 prior to coming back up onto the speedway. It was an aggressive move, but very clean. There was no touch.
BMWs, Calvin, they're down to 40%, but watch this move. Whoa!
Full send there by Connor DeFilippi in the second of those BMWs.
They say you're not allowed to go below that white line on driver's left unless you're forced, but that certainly looked like DeFilippi forced his way down below the white line with full intent. I mean, the only order that could be coming from the team would be don't hit each other. Don't hit each other. It might happen right here.
Puts the squeeze on his teammate. Eng defends, he keeps that lead. That was close. I think that's the message. We know they're racing tandem, but they're trying to keep it clean at the same time.
And to not only nail a podium with both cars, but to finish potentially 1-2, this is huge.
2.5 miles will tell the story, Townsend. Do they have enough energy to get around?
Connor DeFilippi, Cal, is showing 0% energy.
Yeah, it's going to be so tight. I'm amazed they're going to make it. It's going to be awfully tight. Can they do the cool-down lap, even if they see the checkered flag? Bourdais is hanging tough there. Like to see him get out of the way and give Jaminet a clear run here. If these BMWs just should see traffic here in the final few corners.
Jaminet, last car in line, top of your picture there in the Porsche. The laps down car, the gold Cadillac just in front of him.
DeFilippi flashing his high beams desperately. He can tell that Jaminet is now really close.
On the final lap at the Brickyard, can the BMWs make it? Do they have the energy to get to the finish? 2 corners to go, but they're long ones. It's a ways to the yard of bricks, but the BMW team has tried so hard to get there in the past, trying hard again, and Philip Eng is going to take the car out of the final corner. He is going to get to the yard of bricks first. Team BMW RLL is going to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Time to kiss the bricks.
Jesse Krohn there, center of the picture, celebrates with the team. That has been a drought like you can't believe. Such emotion right now.
And it's a back-to-back for TDS Racing in LMP2. Mikkel Jensen to the stripe first.
And GTD Pro, Lauren Heinrich, the number to 77, AO Racing, bringing Rexy home here. Championship leader, and they'll extend 99 points now. Their advantage at the line.
A third gold tooth for Rexy. And finally, another Porsche winning in class. That's Jan Halen bringing the Wright Motorsports Porsche, the dark green Porsche, to victory lane. They too can call themselves Indianapolis winners.
Great run for Wright Motorsports there. They'll be stoked. Elliott Ski, Adam Adelson, Jan Halen. What a run for that trio. Jan Halen hasn't seen a lot of racing action this year. Brings the car home. And a big day also for Robbie Foley, Pat Gallagher, Jake Walker. They finished second and closed the points down a little bit, heading to Michelin Raceway Road, and they give them a chance at least to catch Winwood Racing. They went all in on this one, just rolled the dice on that energy save and just got the job done by the slimmest of margins. Looking at the telemetry, they're on 0 in terms of anything left in the tank. And for Philip Eng, Jesse Krohn, they finally break through. Not only their first podium, first win of this campaign.
You can check out on the bottom the BMW unofficial results. And we see Georgia Henneberry, you're there with the victors.
The congratulations have already begun, guys. First and foremost, congratulations. You are now winners here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Could you have drawn it up any better?
Sorry, I missed it completely.
I said congratulations. Could you have drawn it up any better?
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal to win here. This is the world center of motorsport. It's such a legendary place, so much history here. It's a 6-hour race. We had so much going on in the beginning of the race with the weather and everything The team just did a flawless job. This guy brought it home so well at the end, driving on fumes. It's unbelievable what we just did today.
I was going to say, Philippe, you're the one that brought it home. How was it making those decisions, knowing that your teammate was also right behind you?
Well, I knew that we were really close on energy and that we actually needed a full course yellow to make it to the finish. But the guys, I mean, they just calculated it perfectly, and one of my job used to be washing cars, so buying fuel was sometimes tough, and this paid off today.
How huge is this for the organization? Not just a win, but a 1-2 finish.
Yeah, it's incredible for the whole organization, BMW Motorsport. Everybody was working so hard, and so happy for the double victory. I mean, everybody did an incredible job, so thanks everyone.
The efforts paid off. Congratulations to the 24 team of BMW Rahal Letterman Lanigan.
Yeah, with Porsche taking those two top spots in GTD, Jan Halen bringing it home here at the Brickyard. Man, you guys had this Porsche up front all afternoon long, all of the elements in the middle of it. What set you guys apart from the rest of the GTD field today?
It was just amazing teamwork today. Starting a little bit further back, but then just, team making good calls, Adam doing a perfect stint, and so did Elliott. And yeah, just teamwork. It was an awesome race for us, really enjoyed it.
And Adam Adelson, one of the co-drivers and anchors here for the season so far. It's been an up and down season for this Wright Motorsports team. Petite now on the horizon. What does this do for you guys as far as momentum?
Well, this is absolutely amazing. I mean, there's another racing series that we're going to come participate here in a couple weeks where we're in a championship battle. We never expected to come here and actually take the victory. And for me, it's especially special because in a lot of these longer endurance races, typically the beginning stints don't matter nearly as much, but I really feel like I made a big contribution to today. And these guys did absolutely a perfect job. Wright gave us an amazing car. There's no better car than a Porsche in the wet. And yeah, I just can't believe it.
And I got the chance to kind of watch Elliott skier here at the end of that race. You were happy, you were excited, but also a little nervous. Nonetheless, you and your team get to kiss the bricks today. A monument and a moment that will go down in history. What does this mean to you?
No, everything. This is the best day of my life by far. I've been watching him since a little kid. It's always been winning IMSA in a Porsche. So to now do it with my best friend, to do it with the right guys who I've known for 10 plus years and did Carrera Cup with, this is a very, very, very special day.
Congratulations to this team. Their first win of the season here in GTD comes at the Brickyard. Matt Yoakum.
What an emotional weekend for Rexy and AO Racing. Slim point lead coming in. You win the pole, then you got bounced to the back. Did that motivate you even more to have a maximum point, but a special day to win here at Indy?
Yeah, incredible day. I mean, incredible weekend, I have to say. We struggled in the pre-practice. Then a mega car in qualifying, pole position in my very first IMSA qualifying, straight to the back. But this morning we woke up and we thought we accept the challenge, last to first, and we did it. I mean, third win of the season, extending the championship lead. Can't wait for Road Atlanta.
When you have a chance to settle down and you start thinking about the season, at this juncture, what's going to stand out to you most? Kissing the bricks in a little bit, or just how this team has had composure throughout the whole year?
I think it's just the whole opportunity for me to come here as a 22-year-old from Europe, never raced in the States. And thanks to AO Racing, I mean, they always give me a perfect car and yeah, do a perfect job. And for me, that's just amazing. In the end, I'm just a driver, but we have a whole team behind us who do the job.
What an incredible organization. Rexy, gonna get some dental work done. Another gold tooth in the grill.
Yeah, Mikkel Jensen bringing it home here for TDS. A back-to-back, another opportunity to kiss the bricks. What is it about Indianapolis Motor Speedway that just simply seems to work with you?
I have no idea. We just have a great car here. Great team around us. And I think we've been quite unlucky in some other races with tricky conditions, the strategy not really being right. I think we're always some of the fastest, but this time we got the reward.
When I talked to Hunter McElroy earlier in the weekend, you told me Sebring was the most fun I think I've had behind the wheel of a prototype. Now a win and a chance to kiss the bricks. I think, is it safe to say Indy now maybe ranks a little higher?
Yeah, it's unreal. I was so stressed watching him the last 2 hours. Like, I knew he'd do the job, but you can get so unlucky with yellows like we did at Sebring. And yeah, what a race. I mean, full wet, full dry. This guy did an unbelievable job in probably the worst conditions I've seen, honestly. So everyone did the job today. So happy we deserve it. And yeah, back-to-back wins for all of us at Indy. So I think we all go well at this place.
And Stephen Thomas, you and I talked earlier in the weekend too, and you said the confidence that I have in this driver lineup is absolutely unmatched. Yourself as well, with the conditions you had to overcome today. Knowing that and your sights, you told me, set on a championship in 2025. I mean, how do you feel about this team and another win on the notch?
I feel great. I mean, for a bronze, getting an opportunity to drive in the rain like that was a lot of fun. And I knew if I could just bring back a clean car, I had the best pros and we were going to win the race. And that's what happened. And now we're tied for the lead in the Endurance Cup with one race to go. And so we have something to play for in 2024, which is a lot of fun.
And they're feeling good about Petit Le Mans back-to-back here at TDS. They get another chance to kiss the bricks.
Pretty amazing to see, Calvin, how they have kind of dominated the last couple of years here.